And on our 24th anniversary show, yes, June 25th, 2000, on our 24th anniversary show, I thought we saw a little light, Richie, that Max Verstappen and Red Bull, that empire was about to crumble, Richie. And look what happened over the freaking weekend with a little bit of Norris tweaking.
Lando blew it. He
Yeah.
blew the start. They blew the pit stop. Race over. Red Bull wins. Lewis got a podium though. I'll get that out of the way so I can celebrate, and then we can move on with the rest of the show. And that's it. Formula One. Back to you.
No, that's not it. Formula One. It's part of the weekend.
It was a heck of a weekend, Freak Nation. Not only are we on the verge, actually, the actual holiday anniversary of Speed Freaks. It's June 25th. 2000, where we started on one radio station in Los Angeles and now have grown to a litany of stations across the country, every audio platform that you can imagine, video platform, Instagram, Live, YouTube, of course, on MAV TV. Thank you guys for sticking around for 24 years. That's just a stat, Crash and Richie. Now, thank you guys out there in the Freak Nation for sticking around. And just for that, we're going to go back to 2006 with Kenny and Brandon Bernstein. We're going to go back to 2005, where Tony Stewart joins us as a recent team owner of a sprint car team.
Okay.
And I believe he only had one Cup championship at the time.
5, yes. Okay.
He'll be here in the Freak Nation. We may get to Graham Rahal, Bobby Rahal. We may get to Fernando Alonso, who was in here in 2018. But we celebrate 24 years of Speed Freaks here with you, Freak Nation. Stat man, do you feel 24 years younger than when we started in that one little studio? Or older, younger?
No.
Yeah, younger.
No, but I look back on that one station, one mic, one night. That was 1 hour. We were full house of ones at one point, but we're far beyond that right now.
On that first show, we're talking June 25th, the year 2000, creeping into the motorsports mainstream was sport compact drag racing. So our first ever guest in the 24 years of Speed Freaks was Adam Sarwatari, who was...
Sorry, you remember that. Wow. I bet you don't know what he's doing now.
I don't know what he's doing now, since unfortunately sport compact drag racing about 10 years later just went by the wayside. No, what is he doing now?
He took over his family farm in Central California. I think he's growing bok choy.
Okay. There it is.
That's Central California for you.
Crasher, you want to continue on? Who else joined us on that show?
Who else joined us on that show next, I believe, was the king of Supercross, Jeremy McGrath.
Right.
And then shortly thereafter, Jerry Tolliver, NHRA funny car driver, who helped these two boys here, Kenny Sargent and Statman, really, truly get the show up and running.
So happy anniversary to us. In fact, I think people are emailing someone here that we hear it on the show, emailing them enough to say happy freaking anniversary. 24 years of doing this thing. Christopher Bell wins on rain tires. That's right. But Kenny, they were on an oval. Yeah. Rain tires on Sunday.
So that's happened in 24 years.
Yeah.
NASCAR changes their strategy.
Christopher Bell will be joining us momentarily. Also, Alex Palou. No rain tires needed at Laguna Seca, man. In fact, it was crap hot. Okay, I'm complaining. It was 76 degrees. The track was about $120. The hell am I kidding? I was sitting up under the freaking shade watching these cats go down the corkscrew, complaining that it was 76 degrees. Alex Palou will join us here in the Freak Nation. And again, we will have some fantastic flashbacks with Kenny Bernstein, Tony Stewart, Bobby Graham Rahal, and Fernando Alonso, as opposed to Alonso, joining us here in the Freak Nation. We got all kinds of noises creeping in on this show. But Christopher Bell on that win with that historic race, historic being that they ran on rain tires, Freak Nation.
Yeah, just how historic it was. And you know, for NASCAR to run in the rain like that, or not in the rain, but run in the damp conditions on an oval was, I mean, it ended up being a really, hopefully a good show. I mean, you guys can answer that more than me, but I had a blast, and it made it different. And that's what the key is to having successful, you know, races and entertainment. Like, hopefully that was entertaining because it was something different, something new, and nobody knew what to expect and what to do. and the guys that figured it out the quickest were the most successful.
I will absolutely go with your winner, Christopher Bell, on that. It was entertaining. It was different. And it just threw a big wrench into everything where the cream rises. And Christopher Bell and his team clearly became part of that. What I didn't like, and I think we're going to get to this later in the show, so I don't want to get too much into it now. What I didn't like is your sanctioning body, in this case, NASCAR, telling people when they're allowed to pit and what they're allowed to do in those pit stops. That part to me was just a little, no, I don't like that sort of dictation when you're in the middle of a heated competition. Let people make the decisions that they know are best for the way they have set up their cars.
Yeah, well, we will talk about this later because they didn't know what to do. Even when NASCAR was telling them what to do, they didn't know what to do. So we're going to disagree on that. I have a feeling. The one thing that I really appreciated in our 24 years was when we started, we used to have road course ringers because NASCAR drivers couldn't turn right. They used to have all sorts of things that don't exist right now. I mean, it's a different world in racing. They raced today on an oval on a wet track. That was unheard of when 5 years ago was unheard of. All of these things that have changed in our 24 years. I love it. NASCAR is reaching out and they're trying. You can't ask for anything more. Now, if they could only shorten the races and get rid of about half of them, then we
Today was intended to be shortened. Sunday was intended to be shortened.
6 hours later, baby.
And Mother Nature had her way with it.
Christopher Bell talking about how much fun this race was. Of course, he won the damn race.
It was literally the tale of two completely different events. And obviously the rain completely shook up what was going on track. And in the dry, we started off really well. I was able to, get the lead in the first stage, and then Martin really came on there in stage 2. So definitely, I think that we had some room to improve on the dry stuff. Like, I'm not sure that I definitely didn't have the dominant car. And then whenever the wet came, it was just like, we might as well have been at somewhere completely different. And so it was just so fun to get to experience that, run whatever it was, 80 laps in wet tires and wet, damp conditions. So just a lot of fun. That was so much fun.
Listen, I don't know if it really had any bearing on where these guys finished, but you have Christopher Bell, you have Josh Berry, and you have Chase Briscoe. I don't know about Berry, but Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell, we know about their dirt acumen in a race car. And if that came into play with these guys succeeding on rain tires, am I trying to make something up? I don't know. But damn it. There was a video that you tweeted, Richie, that was just badass at the start of the race on rain tires. And we were all just going, okay, what's about to happen in turn 1?
Oh, okay. Yeah, not the start of the race, but mid-race when they were all officially on rain tires. Yes, that was wild. There were lanes everywhere. But yeah, to go back to what Statman was saying, it's just interesting, the evolution of NASCAR over our 24 years as a show on this planet, and how NASCAR 2 road courses a year. It was always Watkins Glen and Sonoma. And how dare half the field drive their own cars. They had to have drivers come in to race for them. Now, with the advent, you could call it video games. You could call it just like when Dale Earnhardt Jr. actually got lessons from Ron Fellows, and that just carried on to other drivers saying, I just need to learn this craft better. Who knows? But it's great to see the evolution and the talent that has evolved along with the series evolving in the sport.
Statman, I could detect something that you were alluding to, and we can probably carry this on into the next conversation regarding the wet tires and governing the wet tire race or rain tire race. But just given what we've seen for over 2 decades with NASCAR, how quickly, frankly, they've advanced on a number of fronts, including, I'm sure, consulting with Goodyear today and others on getting this race back on the track and not calling the damn. They had every right to call the damn thing. They would have called it last year, but No, they stuck around. They stuck it out, got it in before that next wave of storms came in. It's tough for me to get after NASCAR for anything that they did today or on Sunday. And I'll be frank with you. During that, we got a break. Holy smokes, we got a break. We'll get back into it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Josh Berry, Chase Briscoe talking about running on the rain tires. We'll get to that. Crash Gladys, pit news and notes coming up. Alex Palou, Kenny Bernstein, Tony
and an
Stewart.
update. We have to say an update on John Force. We will get to that as well.
We'll do that next. Cool. Is that good?
That's great.
Crasher?
Yes.
All right.
People are asking. I just want to make sure that they know.
Yeah, we'll give you an update on John Force and what happened with his explosion in his car earlier on Sunday. So big show, 24 years, Freak Nation of us doing this thing. And my goodness, we've got a lot of video to show you this hour.